Hi, I'm Scott Humphrey, CEO of the World Floor Covering Association, and this is Leadership Live. This week on Leadership by the Letter, we're talking about the letter G, and the word is guide. Guide. So this week I had the privilege on Monday of going to the Masters. And the Masters is something I love. I love golf. I'm not a great golfer. I'm a social golfer, but I just love the skill set that's involved and the mental exercise that takes place in golf. And so the Masters is kind of that glory place for me. My dad, who's 89 years old, and my brothers took me there, and I was observing, as I often do, thinking I might find something I could utilize. And one of the things I noticed was the way that the golfers interacted with their caddies. Another name for a caddy would be a guide. Here's what the definition says. A guide is a person who advises or shows the way to another. So what is a caddy doing? They have an intrinsic knowledge of the course that they share with their golfer. They help them pick the right clubs. They help them read the putts. They help them determine how much the wind will impact the swing. They are indeed a guide. Great leaders understand the importance of having somebody around them that contains knowledge that they don't have to contain themselves. And so the challenge is, are you one of those great leaders? Now, I've seen leaders who do not use guides. And I can tell you this about a leader who doesn't use a guide. They have a very unhealthy ego. They think they have to be the person who knows it all or the smartest in the room. And so they surround themselves with people whose knowledge level is just below them. But in reality, a great leader will surround himself with guides, people who are stronger in key subject matter areas than they are so that they can rely on them. So how do you tap into these guys? Well, there are multiple ways. The person can be there with you as a caddy is with a golfer face to face, but you can use books. You can glean somebody's knowledge through a book, through a podcast like this. One of my favorite ways is through groups. So you've heard me talk about the impact of Vistage, the group that I'm in, a group of CEOs who meets down in Atlanta, and how that has impacted my leadership. I would also tell you that we do podcasts through the WFCA called Grow, Growing Retail in Our World. And you can sign up to be a part of one of those groups where you'll be randomly put with other people from across the country out of our database of 12,000 plus members. And those people will have some knowledge you don't have. They're doing things you're not doing, and you can learn from their successes and, yes, from their failures, as we talked about a few weeks ago. And it's certainly you can get this knowledge, this guidance one-on-one. But what's the importance? What are the reasons that one person utilizes a guide? Well, here are some of these. And I got this really from a friend of mine, Mark Mullinex. Mark is a friend of mine from back in my Shaw days, but he is an avid hunter, and that's probably an understatement. Mark hunts domestically all across the United States, but also began hunting internationally a few years ago. And man, he knows exactly what game he's going after. And so I said, well, that's the person to ask. I said, Mark, I know you hire a guide sometimes. Why do you hire them? And he said, because you want the experience to bring about success. He said, about 5 years ago, I took my 85-year-old father on a hunt down in South Africa. And he said, I had to make sure everything was taken care of. I needed somebody who knew the terrain, who could make the experience good, and who could secure success for us. And he said, listen, a guide can cost you a lot, but he said, you get what you pay for. And I would say the same thing to you guys. You get what you invest in. If you invest in yourself through books, podcasts, one-on-one mentoring, then you're going to have a greater impact on your leadership, which means you're going to have a greater impact on the lives of other people. Listen, guides provide direction. They provide expertise. They provide correction if you're going the wrong way. They provide encouragement. But ultimately, one of the things that guides do that's so important to a leader is they lessen your load. They allow you to get the same result with minimal effort. Guys, I'm telling you, if you're not utilizing guides in every area of your life, then you're missing the mark of what would be possible for you as a leader. Secure some guides, read books, get in one of these groups, sign up for a Grow group. Let us help you be all that you can be. Guides do that. You can be one, and you can certainly use one. Now go out there and lead.